I'm so excited for you guys to get to know me a little bit more and get to learn some more things about some of my favorite people in my life, industry insiders, because there is always more to the story. I'm Rocsi Diaz, and welcome to More to the Story. Not having kids.
Yeah.
Number one question that I get, what's wrong with you? Why didn't you want to have kids?
Yeah.
How did that take a toll on you mentally? And not only that, when you went through, we could talk about your health situation.
Yeah.
You've been very open about it, and I think that that's a beautiful thing, especially somebody so young at your age going through something like that.
Thanks, Rox.
That's brave.
Yeah.
That's brave.
I remember when I was at a former show many, many years ago, some executive or someone told my agents, they didn't tell me directly because why would they ever be that mean to your face? Something like, well, she'll never be the lead host of anything because she's not a mother.
Wow.
And the women viewers won't understand, like, what will they make of her? Lady Gang, we had a TV show on E! And we were so excited about it. And the focus groups came back when we did that show, and the focus groups, their number one complaint was, where are their children? These are women in their 30s. Why did none of them have children? At the time, Becca was in a major infertility situation. I actually had a pregnancy, lost that pregnancy. I wasn't planning it, but during the filming of that show. So it was just a very wild time, but I've just been told over and over again, like, if you don't have children, you're pretty much worthless. You're not a real woman. You wouldn't understand what it's like to be a woman. And I really like...
Thanks, J.D. Vance. No.
Yeah, I'm like, well, and I really think about Jennifer Aniston, and I think all the years that we, as media people and as, like, you know, someone who loves Hollywood, I was always like, God, she really is just getting put through the ringer. And I always thought she just didn't want to have children. And then it came out years later that she had suffered with infertility. The truth is, you just never know what's going on with people. For me personally, dealing with a family member, with my brother that has a mental illness, he is I always call him my, like, 40-year-old brother child. You know, he is someone that I will take care of for the rest of my life. And so that's a lot of pressure for me, you know, especially as my parents get older. So I feel like I have enough responsibility on my plate. And when, to be honest with you, when you grow up with mental illness that is genetic, I got to a point where I was just kind of terrified to have children, because what if they struggled the way I have seen my brother struggle? And it is such a hard way to live your life that I think my purpose in life is to help him. My purpose in life is to help other people and other families that are sort of dealing with the same thing, and then to be like an amazing auntie. I look at Oprah, I look at, you know, I look at these people that have made, like, such a huge difference in their life, and sometimes their children are a different type of children. Because the moms I know, they are, like, feet on the ground, making sure this baby is breathing and can walk and, like, has clothes. Like, that is such a full-on thing that, like, I can use my power in other ways.
Did Chris ever want kids, or did you guys ever have that conversation? I mean, you went through,
Yeah.
you know, you had a miscarriage, and then that kind of brings things into reality. But do you ever look at Chris and you're like, damn, you would have been an amazing dad?
That was the hardest part. And you know what? I did not feel it until after my hysterectomy. So I had my hysterectomy in March, and I was like, I'm good. And they ask you so many times during the process, like, are you sure? Yeah. Are you, should we take eggs? Are you 100% sure? I'm like, have you talked to your husband? I'm like, well, it's my uterus. I don't need my husband to sign off on, you know. But we did talk about it, and I was fine. About 2 weeks after the surgery, my mom came to take care of me after the surgery. I cried in bed an entire day. It was so final. And I never wanted that for myself, but then realizing, like, oh, no, there was no possibility. I will never have a pregnancy. I will never give birth. I will never have a pregnancy shoot. I will never look into the little blue eyes of a baby Chris Keltie. You know, I mean, it really rocked me, and it was really hard. And so, yeah, on my deathbed, do I think there'll be a regret there that, like, Chris Knight is such a wonderful man and I didn't have children? Yes. But I also think that, again, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at the same time, and maybe you can't have it all in one lifetime. You know?
What does he say?
He, I think, grew up in a household that isn't like his parents are amazing, but they're not super like warm, dotting, like they don't hang out and have barbecues on the weekends and things like that. So I think he sort of found his match in me. We never discussed it kind of early in our relationship, but then when we decided, he was like, yeah, perfect. Like, I'm down. And now I don't know, it worked out. Like I don't know. I think if I met Chris and I was like, I want to have 10 babies, he would be like, great, I'm going to have 10 babies. But I think he's good. Like we're fine. He's so good with my dog that then I'm like, oh my God, you'd be an amazing dad. But then I actually think he might not be a great dad because he's not like, we're two girls. We're two people that don't know what to do with a baby. Like when we go to the kids' birthday parties now, like we're aunties to everyone. We're kind of like
hand them off.
I'm like, here's your big ridiculous gift, and I'm out.
Right?
You know?
Time for me to go.
Yeah, and like, oh God, they're so selfless and wonderful, and parents are just amazing. And I think you got to have, I don't know. I'm really excited about the way life turned out. Will I have regrets on my deathbed? I think so, but I'm okay with it.
Speaking of things that don't matter, that we put a lot of emphasis on back then, was the idea of having children on television back then. And then now it's okay to be a mom. Thanks, Cardi. It's okay to be a mom on TV and, have kids and have a life, which was not even talked about or discussed during our tenure back then. Is it something that you regret?
Not having kids?
Not having kids yet, or not maybe like having settled down already by now?
So when it comes to that, I gotta be honest, I'm a little delulu, as they say. I really am. I still am. I'm 40 years old now, and one day I wake up when I see all of my friends' beautiful kids, and I think I show up as best as I can as an auntie. But yeah, some days I really do feel like, is that a missing piece of the puzzle? And then other days I feel completely complete, and that's okay too. And I really don't want to fall into the, and then you get the comments too. Yeah. It's like, girl, what's wrong with you? You're at this age and you don't have a man and you don't got kids. Like there must be something wrong with you. It's like, well, maybe I don't show that aspect of my life, because I don't. I really haven't shown that part on my social media, and I don't really think people care that much. Right. But besides the few comments. And also, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of thinking that my life is not going to be complete if I don't have kids and this and that and, the family and the dog and the whole thing, Well,
I want to know more about, you were close though, really close at one time.
Yes,
you dodged, I was close. I don't know if you would call it dodging the bullet.
I would say that. Okay. Which, by the way, that feels like a lifetime ago. Okay. I was engaged at 24 years old, and I think I even forget sometimes. I swear, Rocsi, is like so long ago.
Looking back at it then, knowing now, would that have been the best decision for you? How much would your life have changed had you said yes or went through with that marriage at 24? And do you think that it's actually better to wait as a woman, to wait later in life to decide whether you want marriage and kids?
Well, I certainly would say, kids are a miracle. We know this. So the timing, I don't think is ever going to be right. And from the friends that I have that do have kids, they'll tell you. But my life would have been completely different. I don't think that I would look as youthful as I look. I consider myself to look pretty good for my age. I don't know if that would have been the case, because in retrospect, you don't know what you don't know. And I think with age, I've just acquired way more information, not just information, but about myself. And the things that if I were the day of tomorrow, have a child, the things that I would be teaching that child now versus back then, oh man, the level of growth you can't even compare.
What would you have told your younger self that was so eager to get married back then?
Slow down. baby girl, slow down.
38, 30, like you think.
30, right? Like even in my 40s, I still feel like I'm just getting started, right? So I think for sure 30 would have been like, all right, chill out, right? You're good.
That would tell you know, when you were going through it during that time of like really pressing like kids and marriage and stuff like that, you made me stressed.
I stressed everybody out.
Yeah.
I stressed everyone
We're like,
out.
oh, what are we doing wrong with our life right now? Like, if Butterfield has to get married, then we definitely have to. And for so long, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong.
No.
I'm doing something wrong.
You
so you would have told yourself to slow down.
Yeah, slow down. And I want to be honest though, right? Like I know for me, if today I were sitting here having not been married, without children, I think that I would be happy still, but I do think for me, I would have still been longing for that. Mm-hmm. So I got to be honest. I have to be honest about that part. But not with the level of like, I got to have it now that I had before. But I wanted it. And I think I would have still wanted had I not done it. But yeah, I definitely would have been like, slow down. And, you know, it's one of those things where like I try not to have any regrets, but when I look back, I was definitely trying to get down the aisle with someone that I loved, by the way. So like was in love for sure, but had to speed that thing up. And so I think that was the hard part because I just wanted, like, I wanted the wedding.
Yeah.
I wanted the marriage too, but I wanted the wedding and I wanted the ceremony and I wanted, you know, all the things that my Southern traditional brain felt like I needed at the time.
We have so many successful female friends that we know in the industry, running businesses, taking care of their children in incredible ways, doing all of the things, who are also single. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you had to choose?
I think that many times, first of all, I'm always going to choose my career because I'm an independent single woman and that's what pays my bills. Mm-hmm. So therefore, I'm going to choose my career. Mm-hmm. What happens is I get in relationships where that person doesn't understand that I still have to be Rocsi and I have to work because you're not paying my bills.
Correct.
You know?
You're not.
Or, right, you're not. Or, you know, that the attention or something or my drive is always still there because I don't have children or I have nothing else to depend on. I have to fall back on me at the end of the day. So in that sense, yeah, I choose my career. I don't choose love or relationships really that they might suffer because of my career, because of the travel, because I'm always on the go, because I'm always hustling. It's not the first priority in my life. It's just not. And men have a problem with that, not being a priority. And it's like, sorry, like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? You know, it sucks. It sucks. So I don't say I choose. I think it was chosen for me, but I have priorities.
How bad do you want marriage, kids? Is that still on the table?
In my past relationship, that was for a very long time, I really wanted it bad. Mm-hmm. I really, really, really wanted it. So I remember for my 40th birthday,
I better get this damn ring.
I thought I was gonna get the ring. Did a whole speech and everything. All my friends were watching. Everybody was like on the edge, and they thought, "Oh my God, he's about to ask. He's about to ask," and he didn't. And I remember how I was
empty.
So embarrassed. I was so embarrassed, and I was just like, wow. I no longer have, of course I would love marriage. I'm not going to put it in the universe that I don't want that. Yes, I want marriage. Yes, I want a family. It's not my priority right now. It was my priority for years, thinking I was going to get a ring from somebody that I didn't get a ring from, and waiting for that I don't even want my expectations to be let down again. So I'm not going to even think about it.
Is that part of the reason why you're not in your previous relationship any longer?
No.
Okay.
That's not the reason why. No. And he knows why we're not together. But you know what? Every relationship is for a reason.
Yes.
And I don't I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how much I can love, how much I'm willing to love, how much I'm willing to put up with, how much I'm willing to forgive, and now how much I'm willing to choose me now. So if anything, relationships previous to anything now, that's what I've learned.
Are you single?
Am I single?
Do you hear me?
I am single.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you dating?
When I file that tax form, it says
Single. Correct.
Dating, yes, I'm dating.
Is dating hard?
Dating, period, is hard.
Do you feel like your
I'm one bad
expectations are wild?
relationship away from being a lesbian.
Considering a girl.
What?
Absolutely.
It's either considering a girl or I just say, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I live by myself, me and my dog. So, my expectations are not high. No. No. Like, to even say that is like, you have to set your own boundaries, your own, what you will accept from somebody and what you won't accept. I'll tell you this, my patience is low.
Yes.
I know right away whether I'm going to deal with somebody or not, if this is even worth, a coffee.
Your BS is for someone else. It's not for me.
Yeah, I ain't got time for it. So
I think that's the evolution of women with money.